This channel wouldn't be possible without the support from you guys. And if you're looking for an easy way to help support the channel, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And another easy way to help out the channel is by supporting me directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and the best way to help grow this channel is with the help of you guys. Before we start, this video is sponsored by Collect Edition. They have a huge commander inventory and worldwide shipping, so check them out with the link in the description. She puts the super in Super Friends. She holds the title for the most flexible commander. Yes. She doesn't need a soul ring because it doesn't help you cast her. She decided that red is the worst color in Commander. She knows Victoria's secret. She is the most popular commander of all time. Atraxa. She should have the Monarch ability as well because she is the queen of Commander. Sorry, Marchesa. But a challenger approaches. A challenger as flexible as her, but not as hot though. A challenger who accepts all colors, even red. Yeah! Esika, god of the tree. Okay, that doesn't seem as scary as Praetor's voice. But flipperoonie into the prismatic fridge, and what do we have here? A 5-color legendary enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or planeswalker card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Oh my god, that looks really good.
Oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
We have one team that focuses more on Essika, but most of our teams are gonna focus on the prismatic fridge. We're doing something a bit different today. This is not actually a deck, but more like deck ideas that seem really cool. I think there's just too many things to do with this commander, and I didn't want to focus on one thing and leave out so much sauce. So hopefully you get inspired and inquired and conspired and more things that rhyme.
Okay.
And make sure to write in the comment section how you would play Essika. First off, our small but powerful legendary creature deck. Then we'll take a look at our god theme. Shout out to all my religious friends out there. Rest in peace, Jesus. Then a straightforward fetching giant creatures each turn deck because we can.
Do it!
And of course our Super Friends theme because I wouldn't want my friends to be anything less than super. Let's begin! Now here's the thing with Essika and the Prismatic Bridge, and the reason why I'll mainly focus on the bridge side in this video. I find they kinda anti-combo together. Here's what I mean. Essika embraces playing a lot of legendary creatures so you can tap them and add mana. So you wanna play a lot of cheap legendary creatures because that's gonna help you ramp into your big spells, right? But the Prismatic Bridge is kinda the opposite. You don't wanna play small creatures because you wanna hit something really big each time it triggers, right? Yes, hitting Reki or Lavinia is pretty cool, but not as much as hitting a Kozilek. But I still think this is the most well-rounded way to play the deck because it does a bit of everything. So we'll mainly use legendary creatures to get the most out of the deck. The goal is to cast a lot of legendary creatures that help you cast even more legendary creatures and take over the game with our value-generating legendary creatures.
Make your dreams come true!
First off, instead of playing mana rocks, we're playing cheap creatures. Yay! That's right, in my opinion, there's no need to play any mana rocks because all your legendary creatures are basically mana dorks with Essika out. You know what I mean? We play stuff like Kataki, War's Wage. It's a 2-mana 2/1. All artifacts have, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this artifact unless you pay 1. Hey, if I'm not playing Soul Ring, nobody's playing Soul Ring.
Fuck!
And Safi, Eric's daughter. Sacrifice Safi when target creature is put into your graveyard from play this turn, return that card to play. Playing this just before you cast Essika and making sure she stays on the field. So nice, Safi. And Keenan, of course, whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent could produce. Since all your legendary creatures are basically mana dorks, yeah, it's pretty good. Doubles all your mana, plus you can sink that all into his stupid ability. For card advantage, we have cards like Reki and Joyra. Whenever you play a legendary spell, draw a card. Whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. And Kethis, it's a 3-mana 3/4 legendary spells you cast, cost 1 less to cast. Wow! Exile 2 legendary cards from your graveyard. Until end of turn, each legendary card in your graveyard gains, you may play this card from your graveyard, helping you recast your creatures to help you cast more creatures. What's good shitting out tons of creatures if we can't protect them? You can sacrifice Lindvala, choose Hexproof or Indestructible. Creatures you control gain that ability until end of turn. And Chalet, Voice of Plenty. You, planeswalkers you control, and other creatures you control have Hexproof. And Gerard, Weatherlight Hero. He's a 4-mana 3/3 first strike. When Gerard dies, exile it and return to the battlefield all artifacts and creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Too bad our friends have to die to save us, but it's all for the greater good.
I can't believe you've done this.
No, not the card. We can even get a little salty by playing Lavinia, Azorius Renegade. It's a 2-mana 2/2. Each opponent can cast non-creature spells with converted mana cost greater than the number of lands that player controls. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. And Talia, creatures and non-basic land your opponent control enter the battlefield tap. And the other Linvala, activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can be activated. There's a lot of prison-like legendary creatures out there, but just running a few is okay. You know, it's just like taking a trip to McDonald's. And what do you say to Sisse, Captain Sisse? 4 mana 2/2, tap, search your library for a legendary card, reveal that card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. And the other Sisse, Weatherlight Captain, 3 mana 2/2, Sisse, Weatherlight Captain gets +1/+1 for each color among other legendary permanents you control. Pay 1 color of each. Search your library for a legendary permanent card with converted mana cost less than Sisse's power. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So you got your Prismatic Bridge fetching you creatures, plus these 2 jabronis grabbing you whatever you want. That's pretty powerful.
That's pretty good.
Now we're jumping into funky territory, our god theme. Besides Super Friends, this is a theme meant to be played as a control deck. You keep hitting recurring or indestructible gods with the Prismatic Bridge, never tapping out and controlling the game until you have all your devotion, and then you attack for the win. Simple as that.
That escalated quickly.
The Locust God creates a token each time you draw a card.
Oh my god. And the Scarab God can bring back a creature as a zombie token. Oh my god. Plus, we rarely tap out with this deck, so you can sink a lot of mana into them. And if they die, bring them back in your hand. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
God Eternal Oketra can create a zombie token each time you cast a god. Oh my god. And God Eternal Kefnet can make you copy an instant or sorcery card you top deck for added value. Plus, when they die, you put them third from the top of your library, probably hitting them with the Prismatic Bridge and then getting them back. It's really annoying. Keranos lets you draw a card if you reveal a land card during your draw step, or you can lightning bolt anything if you reveal a non-land card. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
And Crewfix prevents you from losing any unspent mana, keeping it as colorless mana instead. So dump all your extra mana each turn and start stacking your mana pool for your summer party. You can also sink all your mana into Erebos to draw some cards as well. Sink that mana. Come on, sink it. Or sink your mana into Nilea. Sink it real deep.
Yes, you can!
To reveal the top card of your library, if it's a creature card, put it into your hands. Otherwise, you may put it into your graveyard. Sink your mana into Heliod or Orketra to create tokens. So much sinking. Ah! Plus, all your creatures have vigilance. Pretty sweet for when you'll be attacking with your gods. Jesus would be so proud. Athreos the Shroud Veil is really nice. He's a 6 mana 4/7 indestructible. At the beginning of your end step, put a coin counter on another target creature. Should have called it something else. Whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. Any god that gives you a board presence is nice, but using your opponent's creatures to do so is even nicer. Mogus Pocus deals 2 damage to your opponents at the beginning of their upkeep unless they sacrifice a creature. Won't win you the game, but you'll annoy everybody, and that's good enough for me. Once your devotion is up and your gods are creature, you can use Xenagos to give one of them +X, where X is that creature's power, and Eoras gives them menace. Pretty sweet. So letting the bridge fill our board is nice because we can leave our mana up and control the game. Go ahead and go crazy with counter magic. Protecting the fridge is our top priority. You can run a lot of spot removal if you want, but barely playing any creatures means you can run a lot of board wipes.
Plus your gods are indestructible, so who cares?
One thing's for sure, you gotta run... well, duh. And of course, we're playing the World Tree. The World Tree enters the battlefield tap to add a green. Wow, already that's amazing. As long as you control 6 or more lands you control have add 1 mana of any color. That's really, really good. But you can pay 2 mana of each color, sacrifice the World Tree, search your library for any number of god cards, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. This is a huge win con in our deck, and you can even activate it at instant speed before your turn begins, fetching all your gods and getting all your devotion at the same time. Oh, Lord baby Jesus. Now I know what y'all want to see. Now how about we start hitting some big creatures with the Prismatic Bridge. Sphinx of the First Sun is good, but Sphinx of the Second Sun is even better.
Stop this madness.
He's an 8 mana 6/6 flying Sphinx. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, you get an additional beginning phase after this phase. So you can cast even more creatures and then untap all your lands, leaving all your mana open to fuck shit up. Kodama of the East Tree, 6 mana 6/6 reach. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't put onto the battlefield with this ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser converted mana cost from your hand onto the battlefield. So with every trigger you'll get with the Prismatic Bridge, you can put a permanent card from your hand with lesser mana cost into play. Worst case scenario, you get a land. Yay!
Nice.
Avacyn gives all your permanents indestructible. What more can you ask for? And look at this freaking art. it's amazing. Atraxa is gonna be jealous because we're playing a couple, well, almost all the Praetors. Don't worry, Urabrask, we don't need Atraxa anyways.
It's my turn now.
He gives all our creatures haste, and creatures our opponents control enters the battlefield tap. And Elesh Norn, I don't need to explain this one, just read. But these two Praetors are nothing compared to these two jabronis, Varinclex and Jin-Gitaxias.
These weirdos all gotta have a name now.
Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any type that land could produce, and whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, that land doesn't untap during its controller next untap step. And Jin-Gitaxias, at the beginning of your end step, draw 7 cards. Hey, why not put it 10? Who cares at this point? Each opponent's hand size is reduced by 7. Hitting any of these with a prismatic bridge early on is gonna give you a big helping hand. On that, Locus of Rage creates a 5/5 token whenever you landfall. So yeah, this one's pretty stupid with Kodama. I'll let you guys figure that one out by yourselves. Maelstrom Archangel lets you cast a spell from your hand when she deals combat damage to a player, once again getting value without tapping out.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
He big, he protect, and his name is Kozilek. He's a 10 mana Eldrazi 12/12. When you cast Kozilek the Great Distortion, if you have fewer than 7 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Menace. Discard a card when converted mana cost X, counter target spell with converted mana cost X. You'll never get the cast trigger if you get any Eldrazi out with a Prismatic Bridge. But that's not the end of the world. Cozy is just too good to pass on. And go big or go home, Progenitus. 10/10 protection from everything. So yeah, nothing more to see here.
Bye, have a great time.
Now for our super friends. Now you have to run the stupid giant big planeswalkers. You don't have a choice. If you get to trigger the Prismatic Bridge and you hit a Narset Parter of Ways, yeah, that's cool, but it's not a Eugen.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm a sucker for Nicole. I love Nicole. Every chance I get to play Nicole, I do it. We're playing all the Nicoles here. God Pharaoh Nicole, the Deceiver Nicole, and the Planeswalker Nicole, even though they're all Planeswalkers. My favorite Nicole has to be Nicole Dragon God. Comes into play with 4 counters. Nicol Bolas Dragon God has all loyalty abilities of all other Planeswalkers on the battlefield. Huh? +1, you draw a card, each opponent exiles a card from their hand or a permanent they control. -3, destroy target creature or Planeswalker. And -8, each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or Planeswalker loses the game. Removal, check. Card advantage, check. Stupid dumb ultimate that can win the game out of nowhere, check. This is why we play Nicol Bolas. Garruk, Garruk. Garruk is on fire. Schlagamala Khalamishan Kalamataliar. Garruk, Apex Predator, comes into play with 5 loyalty counters. +1, destroy another target Planeswalker. +1, create a 3/3 black beast creature token with Death Touch. -3, destroy target creature. You gain life equal to its toughness. And -8, target opponent gets an emblem with whenever a creature attacks you, it gets +5/+5 and gain trample until end of turn. That's pretty cool. And the Curse Huntsman comes into play with 5 loyalty counters. 0, create 2 2/2 black and green wolf creature tokens with when this creature dies, put a loyalty counter on each Garruk you control. -3, destroy target creature, draw a card. And -6, you get an emblem with creatures you control get +3/+3 and have trample. So they both have removal and they both make tokens. Good enough for me. Now, Teferi, Liliana, and Ashiok are some of my favorite Planeswalkers out there. They have removal, they have card advantage, they have amazing arts. That won't help you win the game, but at least you'll have swag. And no matter what theme you're playing, you have to play Eerie Ultimatum, return any number of permanent cards with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield. So that's all for today, folks. I hope you had fun, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.